Hi, today is September 24th, and this is day 24 of going through my 365-day series of reading Henry Blackaby's devotional, Experiencing God Day by Day. The title of today's devotional is A Living Sacrifice. Romans 12, verse 1 says, "Therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, I urge you to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual worship." God takes great pleasure in worthy sacrifices. In the Old Testament, God gave his detailed instructions for how his people were to give their offerings. He declared that these brought a soothing aroma to him. When the Israelites gave an offering to God, it was no longer their own. It belonged entirely to God. God would only accept the best that people could give. It was an affront to Almighty God to offer him animals that were damaged or imperfect in any way. God himself met the standard for sacrifices when he offered his own Son as the spotless lamb. Only the death of his perfect Son was a worthy enough offering to atone for the sins of mankind. Now, God asks us to lay down our lives on his altar as a living sacrifice. Just as it was in the Old Testament, our sacrifice, once offered, cannot be reclaimed. We belong entirely to him. We could not make a partial sacrifice of our lives. Our offering must be wholehearted. Therefore, if you are a Christian, your life is not your own. Rather than dying, however, God asks you to live for him for his service. You do not serve him in your spare time or with your leftover resources. The way you live your life for God is your offering to him. Relentlessly pursue holiness so that your offering to God is unblemished and acceptable to him. I think this is something that, as modern society has continued to grow and develop, has become more and more distant, even for Christians. The modern world is so busy, so draining on our life and our resources, and people have work and then school and then hobbies and then friends, and all of a sudden, next thing they know, they don't have time for God, or they haven't made time for God. And then as their life becomes more of a routine, and I'm not blameless of this either, once their life gets more into a routine, it's harder to fit God in, and that's not okay. We're asked to offer God our entire life, not our leftover, like the devotional says, not our spare time or our leftover resources. So we really need to make sure that we're living for God and that we're treating our body as a temple, and we are taking the time to give God our time, our best time. God doesn't want the 10 minutes at the end of the day that we happen to have because we didn't go somewhere. He wants us to carve out the best time of our day for him. So thank you so much for listening, and God bless.